Running
this a race? Is
sprints.
it like a sprint? Like through the podcast? Is that what we're doing?
Tristan, goddamn it, you stepped on my intro.
Oh, did I actually?
You fucking son of
You
a bitch.
fucked it
No, it's
up
all right. We're going
already.
to leave it in. We're going to leave it in so we see how pro I am. Welcome to the Messed Up Movies Podcast. I'm your host, Griffey, joined by super producer Heath and our just impetuous, rude guest, Tristan. Welcome to the show.
Tristian
Yeah,
Reed.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Tristan Reed, welcome to the show. Would you care to introduce yourself and where people can find you and follow your projects online?
Oh yeah, all right. So my name is Tristan Reed. I will call myself a writer, director, and editor.
There you
And
go.
you can find me on Instagram, Reed Tristan Matthew, at Reed Tristan Matthew. That's it.
I hate to try to, audio wise spank you this early in the show. Don't
Sure.
fucking call yourself a writer director, brother. You have a feature film. You're a writer director. Say that
Thank
shit
you.
proudly. And
Empirically,
I
you are a
am.
writer
it is an
director and
incredibly
editor.
interesting feature film.
Thank you.
You should
Thank
be
you.
proud of yourself, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
So
And
we met
I
Tristan.
love the word interesting because it definitely
Yeah.
I
is.
loved it. I liked it, right? I watch
Yeah.
so much shit for this podcast. I love movies that are bringing big ideas. And that's what your
Sure.
movie is, man. So, a little intro to us and
Mhm.
Tristan. We were at Days of the Dead Film Festival. Heath was just belligerent and drunk, running around as he is. And I was like, here I am. I got to fill the gaps,
Always.
add some professionalism to this joint. And I met a young whippersnapper, a
Mhm.
fresh out of film school, maybe still in film school, actually, whippersnapper.
Yeah,
This
it was.
young,
Yeah.
wide-eyed boy, just a boy. It was like a scene in the never-ending story. His name, Tristian Reed. And he said, hey, guys, I'm here as a filmmaker. We're like, who is this fucking child talking to us? And then we saw one of our favorite short films we've seen on the festival circuit. And we have made friends since, right? So
Mhm.
talk to us a little bit. How has your journey been from film student to now feature fucking film director?
Yeah, I mean, the journey was incredibly swift. I graduated and then I started making that feature film not even 2 days after I graduated
I was going to say
from
like
IU.
almost on top of graduating. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I think I was writing the movie like in the few weeks before graduation, and then like a couple of days after that, like we're filming. If I remember
Ah,
correctly, because as you guys know, when we film, it's a blur sometimes.
I
yes, it
know.
is.
A lot gets
I
mixed
was
up.
talking to your parents at the film festival and we were very worried about you.
Of course.
But you made it, man. You made a feature film. Talk to me
I
about
know.
this. What is
Yeah.
it like? Because this is something Heath and I talk about a lot, right? We met
Mhm.
at Ball State, as Heath reminds me, not a film school. We met at Ball State. And we always are like, man, if only we had started younger. But I think there were a lot of things that held us back from doing that, right? We needed to go out and do
Mhm.
the world for a while. What is it like to go straight from the film school kind of cocoon
Mhm.
right into tackling the feature film, right? That's the dream of everyone in a film program. What is
Yeah.
it like to jump in right away? How did you find yourself extra prepared because of what you had just done? And maybe things
Mhm.
you wished you had had a little time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess coming off the short film, like I was just like riding the wave, I guess. Like it was just kind of like still in me, and like I was like, all right, like let's go, go, go. Like this is all I have to worry about right now. Like I wasn't applying to jobs or anything like that. So there was a big chunk of my life that was not getting any attention. So I'm like, feature film, like we're still in Bloomington. You know, my lease is up like at the end of the summer. So like let's get this shit done like right now. Um, but I mean, what it's scary, it's
Yeah.
exciting. It's a lot of hard work, um, a lot of passion in it, a lot of energy, and it all just kind of like fades away after that shoot is finished. And then
So,
I'm taking all that footage to the kitchen table at my parents' house and I'm cutting. So,
see, that's what now you have to quickly make another one, another follow up, because you don't want to be the 40-year-old guys like us saying, oh, well, I used to be a feature filmmaker. And I
Right.
could have kept going and I didn't.
Damn, Heath, don't scare him. It's fine.
I'm just
Look at
saying.
look at how
I
good
think
we're doing.
I think
No.
You guys
Tristan's
are doing
great.
fantastic. You guys are like the greatest people ever. What are you talking
It's not
about?
about us. Episode's not about us. I'm just
Fair enough.
excited to see what you are doing, my friend, because I think you
Mhm.
are a very talented person. Anyway, continue.
I
Well,
appreciate it.
I'll tell you this
Appreciate
too.
it.
I think you've gotten a taste of this, right? We did the festival
Yeah.
circuit pretty hard for a while when we came back together. You
Mhm.
meet so many people that, for lack of a better word, are kind of full of shit, right? A lot of
Mhm.
people that have done it for a long time. They don't have a plan for what's next. And it's this real kind of like, it almost becomes this high school niche, like clicky
Mhm.
kind of thing at times, right? When we
Yeah.
met you, I found it so refreshing to just meet someone that just fully loves the process of making a film, was so in love with film, that wasn't older and jaded, right? And just talking to you, you were an inspiration to me, and I know Heath. Like, we're like, look at this fucking guy, man. Like, way to go. We were really rooting for you. And then we
Oh
saw your
man.
movie, man, and I thought it was so fucking cool. Because, again, so many people who are going for their first indie movie go for this kind of paint by numbers, same thing we've seen 1,000 times. It's a slasher. It's
Mhm.
this, it's that, it's the old scary house, whatever. What I found so interesting about The Depths, this is a big fucking idea, man. This is an idea that
I
is
know.
hard to try to tackle on film, and I love the way you were so unfazed by trying to tackle the concept of astral projection
Oh yeah.
in your debut feature. So I would love for you to talk to me a little bit. What was the genesis of the idea for The Depths? What
Mhm.
was the one that you're like, this is the movie I want to pursue? What called
Mhm.
to you about this idea?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal question. And like to be quite honest, like what am I trying to say here? Like when we were preparing to make a feature, like when I basically was given the opportunity to do it, it was all happening so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, okay, found footage is number one. And I'm like, what's next? What's next? I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, uh, slasher. I've always wanted to do a slasher movie. Like, why wouldn't someone want to do a slasher movie? So I threw those two together and I'm like, okay, what's another cool thing that I like in other movies? And one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and I don't know if this is corny or not, too cliche, but I love Insidious and the whole idea of astral projection and that. And when you kind of take this idea of astral projection, there are no rules and anything can happen. And there's so many different things just kind of floating around in that void. So, I mean, that is a very non-specific answer, but it really was just like I'm picking stuff off shelves and I'm just going to combine it and just kind of go all in because I love crazy shit that happens. And I like when it just gets batshit insane. And that's why I immediately just gravitated towards you guys when I first met you. So
I kind
that's
of
kind of how it came to be.
I love that answer and I love that approach because you ended up with a feature film that is super fucking rad, and you have all these people involved, and you weren't too precious about it. I think when we
Mhm.
were trying to do this, when we were that age, it was kind of like it has to be this. This is our shot.
Mhm.
We have to break in. We have to be like Kevin Smith or Robert Rodriguez, and we have to make a splash with our first feature. So it better be good. And what you're
Mhm.
talking about is like, I don't know, what's inspiring me right now, and let's make a
Right.
movie out
Yeah,
of it. And it turned out
it's
great.
kind of the
Thanks.
the biggest, I think, hurdle a lot of first time filmmakers face, right? Is you're like,
Mhm.
this has to be Pie, this has to be Clerks, this has to be what it has to be is something you're passionate about, right? The
Yeah.
only thing we have as independent filmmakers that gives us any value is our fucking voice, right? And it
Mhm.
doesn't have to match up to all the greatest first time films ever. This has to show that you have something that's worth investing in. So, what about, because
Yeah.
again, I followed you, found footage. Yeah, check.
Yep.
Slasher, check.
Sick.
How the
Sick.
fuck did you get to astral projection? And how did you find that an interesting device during the writing process to
Mhm.
maybe bolster some of these other things that we've seen a bunch of times?
Yeah, I mean, I guess to just kind of like reiterate, I just thought it would be like such a fun opportunity to bring in like all that batshit insane stuff just to like justify like, okay, I guess maybe a spoiler, like there's a crazy being ripping out of another man's body, and like this is who we're gonna follow throughout the movie. Like that's just wild stuff, and that is just what I want to do. So I'm like, okay, when it comes to astral projection, that process, that device is what is going to get me those crazy kills, those like really weird, creepy moments. And I'm really happy about it because I mean, anything goes. And I just want to see cool shit on screen. I want to get to that point where someone's, you know, in a fictional sense, someone's throat is being slit on screen, someone's getting ripped apart, there's a joke being thrown out there, there's a moment where you're crying or cheering for the characters. Like that's what I care about. I want to get to that moment through a bunch of weird and crazy ways. So
I think that's beautiful. Like, we were at Midwest Fear Fest, and I remember afterwards, a guy bought me a drink. He's like, "Damn, dude, you got a nail through your dick." And I was like, "Not real, it was acting, but thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, you were on the ride with me." And but I think that kind of thing, right? When you take these kind of root human stories and you take them one step beyond, I think it's this invitation to the audience to
yeah,
sink in a little bit and let go, right? There's something like if you're watching a movie that's
just
so
let go.
rooted in reality,
Yeah,
it
just
has
let
to
go.
feel so real to you. Whereas when you
Mhm.
throw in something like astral projection, it is this invitation to the audience, like, just fucking go on the ride with me. And I
Yeah,
think
just
by
see
the
what
end of
happens.
your movie, you get some truly chilling imagery
Big
out of
time.
this. Who is this fucking person we're watching? What are they doing?
Mhm.
What's the end game of this astral entity that we have no fucking concept of? And I
Yeah.
think that's so, again, I think so many filmmakers are afraid of, there's this real fear in indie film, right? Of going
Mhm.
further than the audience will follow. And to
Mhm.
me, I think that's so fucking sad. So I was like, we're the people that have the room to do that, right? We don't have an
Mhm.
audience. We don't have a studio telling us, no, this doesn't fit the quadrants. We can go
Yeah.
wherever we want. And I so appreciated in your movie that you fucking went to the logical extremes of this idea and took me to places that felt not like a slasher, not like a found footage, two genres that I've seen thousands of the same thing in.
Well,
And it
and
Mhm.
had this
it's a
unique
ghost story too.
that's what I
Yeah, we got
mean.
that
It
supernatural
adds
aspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
this like mix of the three things adds this new flavor. And to me, that's what I'm always looking for, right? In indie film,
Mhm.
I think the most important thing, beyond what camera used or who's in the movie, what is the voice? What are you trying to say? And I think this movie had a lot to say. How did you balance that? Astral projection's your device, and it's something we
Mhm.
haven't seen a lot on movies outside of like Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah.
How did you balance this astral projection as a device and the influences of Sinister? And how did you maintain that kind of point of view through the
Mhm.
writing and especially in the editing, right? How did you keep track of, I want to tell a wild story, but who is the person the audience is watching this movie through?
Right. 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 Another fantastic question. I think that was why editing the depths was like really interesting and fun because before the cut that you guys saw, there was like six or seven before that where it was like
Mm.
reordered and stuff, and we were trying to figure out like, okay, who is like protagonist, who's antagonist, like who are we actually going to follow? Is it Tommy's movie? Is it Parker's movie? And then after a while, it definitely leaned towards Parker, who is Isabella Bonanno, and very talented actress. And so we kind of follow
Fucking, by
her.
the way,
Yeah.
great fucking cast for your college buddies, which I'm
Oh,
assuming all
thanks.
these were.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
you
they're
really
they're
lucked out to have
fantastic.
like a great college cast.
They're they're absolutely fantastic. And like once I got done with them, I'm like, these are gonna be my people going forward. Like they're just so good.
Dude, I'm
I
telling you,
write
that is
characters for
such
them. They're
a goddamn gift
oh,
for a filmmaker to just find
it's an
those people
asset.
you want to write for. Mm. Like
Yeah.
how lucky Heath is to have me. Oh,
Sure. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
oh.
It's a match made in heaven.
It's like
I mean, I
having Jason
technically write the
Momoa and
things for myself.
it's like having Jason Momoa and Jack Black in one person.
That's right. Like if you ordered those two combined, but off of Timu. That's me.
It meshes so well.
But yeah, how
Yeah.
so that was one thing I was pretty interested in while I was watching it because I think I did see another cut at some point. You sent it a while back, somewhere in the
Yeah. Yeah.
process. I don't
Yeah.
know what stage that was.
I
And
feel like I
I
saw it
knew,
right after Days of the Dead too, and this new cut
yeah,
felt very different.
You guys gave me fantastic notes for sure. And
but
I
at the
mean, I can't
same,
remember what they were, but they definitely helped.
yeah,
So,
but I mean, the whole spirit of the movie hadn't changed, but it was
mhm.
interesting. I was thinking, yeah, we're hopping around from a lot of different perspectives. That's kind of the cool way to utilize found footage is everyone is, documenting their lives for a class
Mhm.
assignment. That's a pretty cool way to,
Yeah.
because that's always the problem with found footage, right? It's
Great
like,
fucking device.
who's running the camera? Why is the camera on?
It's the
Mhm.
Cloverfield paradox, not the third movie, the first movie's paradox, which is when the guy tries to kill one of the fucking creatures with the camera lens first, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Like that's not how
You got to see
anything
that
involves.
motion
It's like
graphic. That's how it works.
It's like I'm jerking off a giant or killing a Cloverfield monster. But yeah, it's like, dude, that like I'll tell you this. I honestly found footage is one of my least favorite genres. But my youngest son, or my oldest son,
Yeah.
he's 10 years old. He is captivated by found footage because he told me, he's like, Dad, they feel real.
Mhm.
And so I went back and rewatched all these found
Yeah.
footage with him, and I kind of fell in love with it. And I felt that way
Mhm.
when I watched your movie because it feels like, and I think the device of using a class project was so fucking clever. Because
Yeah.
again, that's the thing in found footage. How do you fucking motivate that people are using the camera in this way? Because if a killer's trying to kill me, the first thing I do is whip the camera at their face and run away way
Yeah.
slower than I
Forget
wish
it.
I was. Yeah, like,
I
yeah!
don't need
And then
that
I try
footage.
to run away.
Go on.
Yeah, like, I'm not filming that shit. I'm fucking running. And I thought yours it has this real gravitational pull to the
Mhm.
school, to the setting, where it feels
Mhm.
natural that the camera is drawn to that place. And it's not this frenetic, we're going to fucking run away thing. It's almost like these kids at the end of school, like yourself, are scared of
Mhm.
what's beyond and are fucking drawn to this place in a way that I think makes the found footage device brilliant.
Yeah, and the crazy thing was I never thought I would make a found footage movie, to be honest,
Yeah.
especially after like my first short film, which was a very like E.T. mixed with Donnie Darko. Like I'm going for a cinematic masterpiece. Like that is what I want to do in my life. Um, but you know, horror found footage comes around, and for a first time feature filmmaker, indie filmmaker, it's an easier way to get your shots and to pack a lot of scenes into the 15 days that we shot it. And the other thing I was going to tell you guys about the editing, just kind of like the perspective. Well, the student perspective, like having all the footage be part of like a class assignment, that's just going back to me like, okay, what is inspiring me right now? Oh, I just got out of class. I just got to like I have 4 years of film school like under my belt. Like, how did I see this? And that's how I saw it. But so I don't know if that's a good
It's
or bad.
brilliant.
But
It's great, dude. You
um
got to use
yeah,
worlds that you're intimately familiar with, right? For some people, that's like George
right,
R. R. Martin.
right.
It's like, it's fucking dragons and ginger people. And you're like, that's great. Some people, it's 4 years of fucking film school, right? And it felt very authentic to you. And I think that's the biggest
Yeah,
thing in
just
indie
getting a
film.
bunch of
Can you pull
personalities.
some authenticity out? That's what
Mhm.
separates your movie from the
Yeah.
10,000 other thumbnails you'll see on Tubi. Is there's an authentic vibe in that movie, right?
Mhm.
I thought
But
that was
but
brilliant myself.
but yeah, but I am interested. So how did
Yeah.
you land on the perspective
Yeah.
and the main character being the Parker character when you had so many other characters that could have
Mm-hmm.
taken the lead at any point?
Right, right, right. Yeah. So originally, I always thought it was going to be Tommy, who is played by Ryan Yager, and so he is our astral slasher. And after watching a few cuts, like Parker just kind of had this like draw to her, and she was missing scenes. So we actually refilmed, reshot, and added in some more stuff of her just kind of like running around with her mom's camera, like the camera that she's using and just kind of like navigating this like weird space. Like you don't know where she's at, but somehow she is pulled all the way to where all the action's happening. Um, and then in another way, like when I was editing it too, just with like all the analog, like liminal horror stuff going on and those like PSAs and animations, I just kind of felt like the film was had a mind of its own in a way. Like that's how I wanted to like cut it. It's like you never really know what this footage is going to glitch to after
Mhm.
like someone is killed or after like a big scary moment. Like I wanted it to have that feel where it's a little bit unpredictable. You just don't know like where you're gonna be next in this POV.
Yeah, that gives it a lot of life. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that editing device that you used with the glitches, and it fits in thematically too, so it's all good. One thing I do really love that's so just a nice touch is after a character is killed, they are in some kind of strange, like personal. I don't know if it's their own personal hell or heaven, or
The
they're
personal
in.
hell of trying to get a film assignment done.
Yeah, no, they like Eric Roberts character. He's in his own guru talk show type thing after he
Yeah.
dies, and then you have another character like doing a presentational thing. I don't know. I just thought
Yeah.
it was a cool way to send those characters off. What inspired that?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, honestly, like I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny, and it was a way to you see one character at their lowest, and then bring them back to like this bright moment at their highest. I just thought was a really cool contrast,
Yeah.
and I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it on my deathbed. I just like making funny, cool shit. So, and
Well, there's something
Eric
cool
Roberts is
about
whole thing
fucking
is
best of the
just
best Eric
ridiculous. It's so
Roberts,
funny.
dude. Yeah. Well, there's something cool about a slasher movie where someone gets slashered and then we're like, but what were their hopes and dreams that will not be
Right.
fulfilled?
Yeah.
Let's give him like let's give him a chance.
Yeah. It's like in Friday the
Like they're getting
13th,
their
right? A
eyeballs
girl's just
gouged
given a
out,
nice
but
blow job and then she gets killed and it's like, but maybe she wanted to be like a fucking third grade teacher. We don't know. In your movie, we
it's,
know.
I mean, like, what you do in her free time? Like what's going on
Yeah.
there?
That's what I'm saying.
I want to
Besides the
know. I want to know
blowjobs,
what my teachers
what
were.
draws you
Yeah.
out of bed every morning, right? Blowjobs is a good answer, but what else? I want to
Yeah.
talk to you about this, right? I'm interested in this in a lot of younger filmmakers, right? I think a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
people make the kind of logical mathematical choice, right? I'm an indie
Mhm.
filmmaker. I'm trying to break in, make a name for myself. The horror genre is the way to do that. I meet so many people
Right.
that are doing shorts and horror features that then I talk to them and they seem to be almost ashamed of that path, right? They're like, I'm not a horror filmmaker. I make horror movies now because I'm trying to get to the big movie. I thought I'd ask you, what about the horror genre is so compelling to you? Because to me, I love the horror
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
genre. And if that's all I ever worked in, I would be ecstatic, man. That's what I reach for first. I
I
love
know.
horror. But so many people, it still has this like stank on it, right? What about it to you
Yeah.
calls to you? Or are you one of these guys that's more of a portrait of a lady on fire? You fucking hate horror movies.
Uh, no, I
Okay, good.
love horror and like it's just yeah. We'll just clear that up real quick. We'll put
I
that out
also
there
love A Portrait of a
before.
Lady on Fire. It is the horror of the patriarchy, and it's a great film. That was a rude
And I also
comparison.
love
Yeah.
drama. I love watching, Air, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. It's fine,
Yeah,
like
hell yeah.
everywhere. But when it comes to making something, it's always going to be horror. And I mean, to be honest, I just feel like it's the only genre that I like absolutely like know through like every single piece of it. Um, I have to repeat that question, Griffey. We definitely trailed off. But, like, what was it
No,
about the
I
whole genre?
yeah, it's just I think I feel so sad when people I know are making horror
Yeah,
movies because it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
the smart business choice. But they seem to not recognize that in the horror genre you can tell fully realized complete stories, right? And they look at it as this
Mhm.
half-ass attempt at a movie and you can just kind of like lie your way through it. I think horror at its
Yeah,
best is the very essence of the human condition, right? It's all the drama,
a hundred
right?
percent,
What
a
matter when the
hundred
world's
percent.
falling apart? What still makes us a human, right? When it's our
Mhm.
life versus another's, what matters, right? And I think so
Yeah.
many people have this kind of well, I got to do this because it's the cheapest way to make a movie people will watch. And they underserve the amazing story potential of the horror genre.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's always so innovative. It's always so compelling. I'm always gonna take like, a creature feature over a rom-com because like I just know that I'm gonna be seeing something that I it's just to pull me in immediately. And like I said, it's just innovative, compelling, and there's always something new to like discover in the shadows of the genre. Like I feel like there are always more unique, different vibes coming out of horror than anything else. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't think I
it's
would ever try something else, to be honest with you.
yeah, it is elastic. You can do a lot within it. Like again, your movie,
Mhm.
there is a central dramatic conflict going on about our mom just
Mhm.
died, and how can we
Mhm.
get that back? How can we right this wrong where the universe took her from us prematurely? And then that's what inspires that Tommy character to pursue astral projection. And then you get some really funky
Yeah.
scary horror stuff out of what's that dark place where mom is. And
Yeah.
that shower imagery, man. I mean, that was one of the
Dude,
first
that's the
images.
scene that fucking hung on me too.
I mean,
That's
you
what
did a
fucked
great
me
job.
up.
Like
Yeah.
that sticks with you.
Yeah. I mean, those are just the scenes that I want to get to. Like sometimes I kind of get lost in like, okay, like what is movie about? What is the story about? I'm always thinking about like that, just razor blade against the skin, like in a creepy bathroom. Like that's just what I want to see. And the story after fact, I am sort of making sense of my perspective on like and feelings in my life after the fact, after I like put in like the gore and the characters and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like you're, I guess with that scene, like the crazy slasher kills, like movie, you're definitely getting two ends of the spectrum on like what my interests are for horror. So,
Right. And again, though, that scene is so hyper effective as kind of a horror payoff for this idea. But again, that scene doesn't
mhm.
work if you're not invested at an emotional level with the characters. And I think
Right.
that's the thing that's so underserved in so many indie horror projects I see. And I
Oh,
think, to me, I
it's
think that's
way
such a great credit to where you're already so far ahead of so many of us in your filmmaking and storytelling journey is that you fucking nailed
Mhm.
that part. And to me, that's the hardest part that takes most of us fucking years to come to.
it is because you could have done
Yeah.
that where it's almost like a haunted house, right? And it's just these app,
Right.
app, apparitions or demons that are potentially threatening. It's
Mhm.
so much scarier and more disturbing that it's the mom, because that's
Mhm.
all they wanted was to
Yeah.
have their mom back. And when they get her, she's this, you know, terrifying entity. And that is really super scary and
Afton,
disturbing.
yeah, shout out to Afton Shepard because she was running around with your college students and were like, hey, we're gonna give you some long fingernails and some blood, and like you just needed that. So shout out
Yeah.
to she did such a great job and she was so creepy. But yeah, I get what you mean. And to be honest, I feel like I'm not, I'm a humble guy. I'm not gonna say I'm like great at crafting characters and stuff, but I am enjoying the
That's not
journey
what he
of
was saying before we hit record. FYI for the audience. Unbelievable turn of the
fair
face
enough.
here.
Um, building the characters though has been really fun as I write a lot more, and I'm definitely putting a lot more focus on it, even if I wasn't before in a way.
Yeah.
So walk me through this, right? You're at this really
Mhm.
beautiful phase of the journey, right? You come out of film school, you're with all these other people that want to be filmmakers. And I think
Mhm.
Heath and I is like the ghost of futures to come, right? We had all these friends that loved movies and they wanted to make movies. Then they go out in the real world and they're like, you know what I really want is pussy. And what I really want is a job that pays me every week and insurance. And then I want to have kids and a house. And we look around sometimes, we're like, all the guys we went to school with to do this, There's not
Hmm.
that many of us left, right? You're at this really beautiful phase where everyone's still kind of committed. I'd love to hear your kind of opinion as a guy who made the movie so close to film school still. And what was that like as almost this beautiful final send off to film school, right? Knowing that some of these people are not going to make it, man. They're not going to be on the path. What did you take in? What was sticking with you? What will you cherish as you
Hmm.
move forward in this kind of post film school world that you're now entering?
I, yeah, I mean, like, like I said, I mean, it definitely like, was a blur, but I was just so put back. Like, you're spending so much time with these people, and some of these people I was meeting for the first time, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I heard about you. Like, you know, come and rock with us is going to be great. And take Bella for example, lead actress in the movie, and now we're like planning to write like four more scripts together. Like, we just want to keep writing. And there's something just so fantastic about just honestly just shooting the shit and making cool stuff with your friends on set. And that is always something that I would never take for granted. And it's something I just like kind of am addicted to, even though I haven't really been on a set in like a year and a half since we finished that feature film. And I just want to get back to it. And
Yeah.
the good thing is, all the people that I feel like I've crafted stuff with, they are doing bold and big things. So I'm like, hey, I'm here. So take me along for the ride too. And also want to do something else
We
with
all
you.
hope one of
But
our friends makes it big and entourages our ass to the
yeah.
top. I've been
Hey,
waiting
when
for
you
that for
get it,
fucking years, man.
yeah, I'm gonna keep playing Mario Kart. When you get it, just call me real quick, and
I was
then
like,
I'll start
I'm
doing it.
I'm at a bar always. You can find me, dude. Like, just
Yeah,
text
yeah.
me.
I'm writing stuff on napkins. Like, when you're ready, I'm ready. So,
Exactly, man. But
um,
again, I think you really
yeah.
hit like. I think the thing I appreciate so much about being back in the battle. There's
Mhm.
nothing like those days on set with people who you really cherish working with. And that like
Yeah.
camaraderie of a set is so fucking hard to replicate, especially at the
Yeah.
screenwriting phase, the editing phase. These are like lonely, isolated phases. Those days on
Hmm.
set, though, when you're surrounded by all these other passionate, artistic people, those are the days that just refill the soul to me, man. And I
Oh,
think the fact
it's
that
just
you honed in
fantastic. We
on
go
that so
nuts.
early, that's the good stuff, man. That's the stuff that keeps
Yeah.
you writing stories when you're like, this fucking sucks and I want to quit writing. You just want to get
Yeah.
back to set. You know what I mean? That's always the
A
journey.
hundred percent. And that's kind of the crazy thing. I feel like now, I mean, since it's been a little bit, I feel like I kind of have imposter syndrome when it comes to directing, but I'm finding so much peace in writing and editing. But I'm happy that I'm not writing alone. That has its own beauty to it for sure.
Yeah, writing with a partner can be challenging in its own ways, right? Like when you have that moment, you're like,
Right.
we both adamantly disagree on a story beat. There is nothing like
You
writing with
suck.
a partner, though, that can call you on your shit and you can just get through those
Yeah.
problems. I think it's the best way to write, dude. I've been fortunate to find
Yeah.
good writing partner. Like, I get that. I did want to ask, what
Mhm.
lessons do you think you've taken now? Because now you've had a year and a half, right? You've had some time to kind of
Oh yeah.
decompress on the whole thing. You're out of film school, right? You're out in the real world now. What were some of
Not
the
in the real
things you
world.
think were beneficial to jumping into a feature
Mhm.
so fast? And what are some things that you would change on your next one now that you've had some time to think about it?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll start with change. I mean, I just wish I didn't rush it as much. I wish I had a little bit more
That's
time,
every film, dude.
because every single film, right?
Yeah.
It did happen very quick, but as I keep writing, I'm like, okay, the script will be reworked when you're on set. You're going to be changing things based off how people talk, how people act, but the script is blueprint, and it should not be like an afterthought. Like, that thing should be like as close to done as possible. And we definitely had finishing, but a lot of the chaos, thankfully, was sort of produced while we were on set and just kind of like working with each other. were a lot of things would have changed in pre-production before we actually started filming for sure. Um, and yeah, like lessons learned, like just kind of take in like all considerations before you go into a big project like that. It's going to eat up a lot of your time and like sacrifice, applying for jobs, which I probably should have been doing, but um,
Fuck those jobs, dude. They'll be there.
yeah, yeah, and just kind of make sure you're working with the right people and all that kind of stuff, and make sure that everyone is on the same page because I've heard a lot of people say it, and I definitely learned it as well. Like it is a miracle when a film is done because there are so many moving parts and there's so much prep that goes into it. I mean, after having, I like being that person who just kind of dives headfirst into something because I know I'm going to be so much better off after the fact.
Yeah.
And that kind of is what this first feature film was. And I'm still so insanely proud about it because it shows every single aspect of like what I'm interested in horror. So like every film after this is going to be like, okay, we're going to do a slasher specifically, we're going to do a supernatural specifically, whatever it may be. But yeah, just a lot of prep. Prep is always a good thing. And when everyone's on
Oh
the
yeah.
same page, it is just a nice, smooth, same ship for the most part
Well,
until
I
something
think
goes
I think
wrong.
what you hit on there is something I've latched onto so much. Is I'm fucking what? I'm 5 years older than you, 3 or 4 years older than you, maybe.
Mhm.
A little
Right,
further
right.
down the road. And
Yeah,
it's one of
like
those.
freshman year,
I
I
think,
just saw you at the cafeteria. How are you?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was drinking with other college kids. That doesn't
Right,
mean
right,
we're the
right.
same age. Yeah, no big deal. Um, but what it is so many people get fucking frozen on that idea that
Mhm.
every movie has to be perfect, the best fucking story ever told. And they get so fucking hamstrung. And what you just said is sometimes I just want to fucking dive in and I'll
Mhm.
figure it out as I'm swimming, right? I think that's
Mhm.
such an important attitude for an independent filmmaker to have. Because this is the thing, you can watch the best movies made by the biggest studios with the best cast, whatever. Most of them are derivative of something else, right? Most of them feel the same. There's
Mhm.
not a lot of risk taking, this and that. All you can do is just keep making something that hopefully has some fucking voice and some fucking point of view and some craft that shows you're on your way, man. And I think so many filmmakers are afraid of, I don't know if this is part of like the internet cringe culture or whatever. They're so afraid of making an average movie. And to me, that's the
Right.
saddest fucking thing ever because to make an average movie is a literal fucking aligning of the planet's miracle from the fucking
I
universe, man.
know. I know. I know. That's what people don't realize. Like,
Yeah.
and
there's just
and
so
you're
much magic that comes from just the process anyway.
and yeah, you're depriving yourself of a damn great time too if you have
Yeah.
people that you like
Right.
to work with.
That could be the chance
Yeah.
where you meet the person that is going to get you to the movie that really sells your voice and this and that, right? And that sitting and
Yeah.
waiting for things to be perfect, that doesn't happen to guys like us working in indie with no budgets
No.
and no time and no fucking whatever. Our job is
Yeah.
to just show that we can survive. Like, there's this great fucking movie in the 90s, Angus, right? And it's about this big, chubby high school kid who's good at football. He's super smart, but he's kind of picked on. He's not like a popular kid. And he just wants to go to prom with this hot girl. And he has this thing called the Bethune Theorem, right? And it's a science
Okay.
project. And he's like, if you put this fucking little like bacteria in this hostile environment, it'll normally be destroyed. But sometimes if it's fucking strong enough, the system will change to fit the Bethune, fucking bacteria. And it's this weird movie with George C. Scott, and I just fucking love and cherish that movie. Because what it says is, no
Yeah.
one wants what we're making, right? No one needs
Mhm.
our fucking movies, right? Blumhouse making movies. Everyone's making horror now. That's where the money's at. What we have is if we can fucking stay strong and keep making shit that matters to us, there are people out there that appreciate that. And if we stay strong enough, someday we'll change the fucking system. But so many people are afraid the first movie is not going to like win an Oscar. They don't fucking do it, man. And that to me is heartbreaking.
Yeah. And you said it perfectly. Like everyone thinks like, oh, no one's gonna watch my movie, but like you want to watch your own movie, and that
Yes.
statistically
This is the
means
thing,
someone
dude.
else
If
is
a
gonna watch
thousand
that movie
people
because they
watch
want
your
to.
feature film, that's an insane achievement. It might not matter
Yeah.
financially like you want. Imagine 1,000 people in your yard right now. That's a fucking shit. Like, if that was a zombie apocalypse,
It's
you'd be
nuts.
killing yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if that was
That's
people
why
watching our short films, we'd be like, loser. You know? Like, that's fucking lame. That's not a
that's
right
why
attitude.
social media has definitely kind of ruined that mindset because like 1,000 views on a video, like not so much, but 1,000 people in a theater watching something that you put, 6 months of your life into,
Yep.
that's life changing, absolutely life changing.
Absolutely.
So you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going, no matter how hard it gets.
I agree. I think so many of us don't stop and appreciate the fact that if you're in a room with 50 people and you get legitimate like reactions to something you made,
Mhm.
that's fucking magic that people
Mhm.
like us aren't supposed to have access to. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and it's the
Right.
magic, it's the addiction that sets in because you just want that again.
There's
So
nothing
that
like
keeps you
a
going.
Right.
big like theater pop for something you fucking have been working on for so. There's no feeling like I did stand up. I used to be in a shitty band. Like to me that like that the movie thing is like it takes
Didn't know
so
these.
much work and prep. It's so much extra prepared. It's like a sniper attack versus like running in with the shotgun, right? It's and when it actually works, you're just it's such a euphoric feeling, man. To me, I don't, at
Mhm.
least I don't know.
No, not to me. I actually don't care about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Too
You're young.
cool.
You don't fuck. You don't know. My wife
I don't care
doesn't
about
want
these
to
people.
touch me. My kids think I'm a loser. No, I'm just kidding. My wife can't keep her hands off me. That's no big deal. She doesn't
It's
listen
the
to the
Jack.
pod, so there will
It's
be
the
no
Jack.
fact checking on this at
It's the
all.
Jack.
The Jack
The
My
Black.
Jack Black
wife,
side.
everyone else's wife. I got to carry a stick around. No, just kidding. Um, I would like to ask you, Tristan. So you are
Yes, sir.
currently writing an
Mhm.
anthology
Mhm.
horror film because you saw what we're doing and you're like, I'll just try to do it better
That's
than them. Real cock move, if
that's
you ask me. Can you? What can you tell
it
us
was
about the
around
new
the
movie
same
you're
time. I'm
working
like,
on?
wait a second. I'm like, they're doing two shit. They're gonna hate
I
me.
mean, I think we're the only ones that have ever made one, so this is a pretty bold move.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. So you get the first one. I'm doing the second.
that's right. Yeah.
I love it.
What can you tell us
Yeah.
about
Well,
your
wait. What's your question?
anthology
Yeah.
horror
Yeah.
film you're working on?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, so it's 4 stories, 4 parts, and it it came from a moment where I had just finished The Depths, and I'm like, okay, what's next? And to be quite honest, I don't think I had it in me to do a complete 90-page, just one story. So I'm like, I'll think of four short ones.
Yeah.
And, I came up with a road horror, I came up with a slasher, came up with a little alien invasion one, and then like one very like Requiem for a Dream type horror that I've always like wanted to kind of like delve into. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put them all on the page and I'm gonna see what happens. And it was garbage. It was really bad. And then I called Bella
Yeah.
and I was like, hey, take a look. Let me know what you think. And blah 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 blah. We've been writing for now we're like submitting to festivals and trying to get like people's eyes on it and stuff like that. And she just helped me kind of mesh all of these together into a story that's actually about a Reaper. A Reaper actually like observing different stories and guiding people after their like violent battles with the unknown. So once again, just kind of like the depths, it is a little bit of you know, a chili, like a what do you call that? What is that? What is that food? A, what am I? A hash. We'll call it a hash. It's a hash of like all of my horror interests. And
Gotcha.
I just,
Like an
creature
omelet.
features,
You put in
slashers,
whatever
like an
ingredients
omelet.
you want, you fold it
Yeah,
over. There you go.
whatever. And we're going back to form a little bit. Nothing found footage, all like cinematic narrative, and just an anthology that try to transcends dimensions a little bit and starts to pull on the heartstrings a little bit more this time around. A little bit comedic, a little bit funny, a little bit of wholesome stuff, and then really scary shit. So.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those because a lot of I feel like me and my writer friends talk a lot about where it's like, I think people look at anthology films like cheating, right? Like, oh, you just wrote a bunch of short films and put
Yeah,
them together. I always tell people, you know how fucking hard it's been to try to combine those into one cohesive thing and like
to
finding
connect them.
a. We've been working on this fucking thing for ages. I think we've done 12,
Yeah.
15 fucking drafts of this thing
Hmm.
total, not including the individual drafts of each. It's fucking hard, right? Because there is something about a feature where
Yeah.
once you figure out the setting and the characters, you're off to the races. With an anthology, you
Hmm.
have to do that fucking 5 to 8 times, right? And you have to
I
re-find it,
know.
and it can be hard, man. A lot of people think it's
It
hard
can
to
be
tell
hard.
one good story. When you make an anthology, you got to tell fucking 5 to 8 good stories, right? It is a really unique and interesting challenge I
Yeah.
find as a writer. So walk me through this, right? You guys are writing this. Besides casting me, obviously, that's the most obvious choice. Are you guys going to make
Of
this?
course.
As long as you can afford my fee, that's
That
all that
that
you're
is
waiting on.
yeah.
Can you guys afford 30
90%
Keystone
of the budget.
Lights?
Griffith.
Yeah, if you can afford 30 Keystone Lights, I'm in.
Um,
That's all. A
we're gonna
day.
get
A day.
we're chilling.
Yeah. Okay. So are
Um,
you guys planning on making this anthology?
yeah. That is very much the plan, especially since it's a finished script. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about it the best way possible. Like, okay, it is a feature film, but also it's four short films that we can try to like kind of separate in a way. Short films, four separate experiences on set, and four different moments of logistics that we don't have to like maybe put all into one basket.
So that
Um,
was our big
yeah.
thing is when we were starting and we're like, we don't have a lot of money, we don't have a lot of leeway. Being
Mhm.
terrified that an actor would bail on us halfway through the shoot. And so we're like, let's just
Yeah.
take that out of the equation and have many break points to where if an actor leaves, we can get around it. Right? There are a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
nice
film each one in a
production
week.
things with an anthology.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess like from a story standpoint too, like there's less time for like fluff and build up. Like you're kind of getting right to it, which I love. Not to be like, talk brain, but that just means more crazy shit. So I'm all for it.
That is definitely the approach we've taken. Yeah. I think, and again, it's like, I also think there's like a real magic too. Because when you do like a 6, 7 minute short film,
Mhm.
it's a punchline movie, right? You set up a gag
Yeah.
and you pay off the gag. That 15 minutes lets you show that you can do that extra bit of character building, but multiple
Mhm.
times, right? I actually think it's a really brilliant. Like, if I, as a producer, I'm kind of a producer, right? He says I have a couch somewhere. I've never seen it. But, like, I would love to see an anthology version from an up and coming filmmaker because it shows me their voice multiple times, right? And how do they approach
Yeah.
different characters? Not just the character that's them, but in a movie. How do you write a bunch of different characters in
Mhm.
a bunch of different settings? I think the anthology is such an underutilized weapon of independent filmmakers.
Yeah. Yeah. So genres that I really didn't think I would like get into. And like, you know, it's kind of like my on like religion a little bit, like how characters battle that against like a very eerie like hitchhiker on the side of the road, like however you want to like put that in your head. How a dad, sort of grieves over his missing son during an alien invasion. Like I don't even know what could go on there, but it's just so interesting to kind of pick and choose like these very specific moments in my life and then just try to translate that a into an anthology and then try to connect that with a more like interdimensional like higher purpose type of way. So that's kind of what we're going for.
I mean, it's one
Hope
of
people
those
get
things, dude. I always think about the movies we make too. If I had just popped like 3 edibles and I'm on my couch, what's the movie that would be on Shutter that I would stop scrolling and be like, that's it right now? I'm picking an
right. Yeah.
anthology every single fucking time. Because you're like, man, if two of those
Yeah.
are good, if three of those are good, I got better odds than anything else I'll turn on. I
You're
fucking
getting
love
your
it.
money's worth, right?
That's what I'm saying, right? And I love anthologies. I think we should be getting like 10 great anthologies every year. And it does feel like something that is weirdly, it's been around forever, right? But like, there aren't a lot of great anthology films, right? A lot of people don't tackle these. Because to me, I don't know if you've been doing a lot of research. The best anthology movie of all time is Tales from the Hood, clearly. But you know, like you watch it and you're like, other than Tales from the Hood, Creep Show, maybe Twilight Zone without the actual murder scene, what are like the great anthologies, right? It feels like it's so
It's
fucking
hard to think about them. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, the
It's hard to
VHS
like
franchise has kind of done it, but a lot
VHS
of
for
people aren't
sure.
attacking it.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I think that was kind of like our conversation, like when I brought the script to Bella. It's just like like there may not be enough anthologies out there, like at least that we know
Never.
of. And I'm like, yeah,
Would you call
never.
Pulp Fiction? Would you call Pulp Fiction an anthology film?
No. God,
No.
no. No, it's
It's an
not.
interesting question though.
It's not diverse
Blending
enough in the
storylines.
vignettes. They're all kind of the same flavor of crime thriller. And they're like too interconnected, right? Like if they were
They
a
are.
little
Yeah.
like Butch and the Pregnant Lady is the one that feels the most out of the film.
Yeah.
The rest of them are pretty in there. But again, I think Tarantino tapped into that. I'm going to give you a fucking wide array of fucking characters in this world that all feel connected. The Big Lebowski does that. Like a lot of these movies we love at our very core take the greatest weapon of the anthology film and really weaponize them, right? Show me a wide array of characters. So I might not be the dude, but I might be Walter, I might be Donnie, I might be the Jesus, I might be the Big Lebowski, right? Like that movie's got 30 fucking great characters in it. And I think the most important thing as a writer is write a character or write all your characters, right? To where you're covering the most amount of audience members you can.
Yeah, something for everyone. I was actually just watching. I don't know if you guys have seen it, and it's a little bit of a segue. It's like an anthology film, but Strange Darling. Have you guys seen that?
Oh my God, dude. That was one of the
One.
best movies of last year. So fucking good.
One of my
Literally,
favorites.
it's insane. Like my dad is just a goddamn nerd over it, and he watched it before me because you gotta watch it, you gotta watch it. And like, I mean,
So good.
Your dad
this
is
may not
pretty
be a
cool if he's
fact.
watching that. The problem is
Yeah,
your dad might be our
every,
age. That's the problem.
everything I know about filmmaking is from my father. Like, other kids were watching. I mean, I was watching SpongeBob too, but like other kids were only watching SpongeBob and Toy Story, and then he's got Fight Club on in the background for
Hell
me.
yeah.
So
Represent dad. I actually think I
yeah,
shared a beer with your dad. Yeah.
you definitely did.
Yeah. I share a beer
You
with everyone
definitely
I
did.
meet. That's my
Yeah.
go-to.
Um, yeah, but like Strange and Darling, like I just love when movies just kind of go all over the place. Like, doesn't that movie start with like chapter three or something like that? Like,
Okay, so that was one
like
of
right
those
in the
things I
middle.
saw and I was like, we're in cunty art house territory. And then as it unfurled, I was like, this is the movie we're all trying desperately to make.
Oh
And it was
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. It's
inspiring.
fantastic.
Yeah, fucking incredible
It's
movie.
so inspiring. Well, like what they said, like shot on was it 35 millimeter? Like just in the opening
There's a
title.
lot of that stuff that I was like, I should just leave the theater. They're jerking off on the screen like, this is not for me, this is for them, right? And then the movie starts and you're like, oh my God, it's so good.
Well, there was another one last year that was a legit anthology and a little art housey. But have you seen Kinds of Kindness yet, Tristan?
Oh!
I haven't
Yorgos
seen that
Lanthimos. Yeah, that
either.
movie was fucking incredible.
So good.
So
Oh
good.
man.
Yeah, check that one
Yeah,
out. That because
Tristan, I will
I
send you
will.
the definitive list of best anthologies, but it's Tales from the
Oh,
Hood number
dude,
one.
yeah, yeah.
It's not even close. Tales
Yeah,
from
you
the
guys need
Hood
to
is
send me
the
everything.
greatest.
Yeah, because I'm just we're writing one without even like doing a whole lot of research. It's just like, this is just what we're doing. So
See,
I gotta
this is
watch more.
you're a part of the TikTok generation. You don't respect our
Oh,
culture. It's fine.
oh, I know, I know, I know.
You guys are fucking
I'm honestly
disruptors.
ashamed.
That's what you are.
Yeah, I'm trying.
All right,
trying to
Tristan, this
just
is a
hold
great
on for a little
segue.
bit longer.
This is a great
Yeah,
segue. I have two more questions I have to ask you.
let's do it.
So, Dream Project. Let's say The Depths comes out. It
Oh,
rips through the festival circuit. It rips through the Academy Awards. You're up on stage and you're like, most of all, I want to thank the Messed Up Podcast and Misfit Parade guys for having me on and launching our campaign.
first people.
My
The
mom
first
and
people.
dad after the Misfit Parade, right? Like that's probably what your speech will sound like. You don't have to take that. It's just early draft. And Hollywood comes to you and they're like, Tristan, open checkbook. You can have any IP you want. You can make anything you want. What would you make?
Um, okay. I love playing video games, and I've been getting more into it lately. I've been like collecting a lot of like older stuff that I used to play as a kid that I never really had.
Video games have
Like
become
personally,
so
like
insanely cinematic in the last 20 years. It's
oh, I know.
unbelievable.
It's fantastic. Like I just bought my first GameCube a while back, and like after playing with my
Nice,
cousins,
dude.
like
Represent.
back in the day, represent
I remember
it's the greatest
selling
thing
my
ever.
GameCube for $50 so I could buy weed one night.
Oh no! Why would you do
We're
such
on
a
two
thing? Come on.
generations. Well, I was like, I have a Wii and I want to get high to play Mario Kart. This is logic.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not to segue too much. I'm probably gonna give you like three answers,
Give me all of
and
them. What
if
would
it's
you
IP,
make?
it's definitely yeah, it's definitely gonna be video games.
So,
A
Twilight,
massive fan. Yeah, Twilight. Well, let's do Twilight. Let's do Roblox, and then no.
Roblox, really?
Um,
Okay, hell yeah. Following that
um,
Minecraft way.
yeah. I would definitely like Resident Evil 4 is a big one for me. Just so
Ooh.
fantastic. I love the concept. It's fit like I
I
even have
honestly
like my
love the Resident
own.
Evil movie number one they made. I think
Oh
Resident
yeah,
Evil is
yeah.
the most slam dunk video game movie to make of
Yeah.
all time. And his number four is the best Resident Evil by a mile.
A 100%. And I'm really excited with Zach Gregory does with like the new reboot. I really hope but yeah, like that concept is just fantastic. Like kind of a beaten down little, there's no idea what's going on. You got to save the president's daughter. It's beautiful. Um,
Because now that'd
two,
be Ivanka,
like
dude. That'd
Halo
be like,
Reach because it's
is she
just
hot? I don't know. Like now there's all these
yeah,
extra
vodka.
quandaries. Yeah.
Do we? I don't know. I'm gonna just back off.
Do I want to bang Ivanka or
Number
not
two is
have tariffs?
definitely
I don't know.
yeah. Let's see what happens. Um, Halo Reach is a big one. I love Halo. I think Halo Reach is like the greatest campaign ever. And I would do like 6 to 8 episodes, and the last episode is just 40 minutes of Lone Wolf.
I was
Just that
so
Spartan
damaged
going
by the
nuts.
Halo series. Because Heath remembers, I
Me
was
too.
the
Oh yes.
scourge of our dorms. There was
Oh
a time in
yes.
Halo 1 and 2, I may have actually been the best Halo player in the world. Like,
Yeah.
if you saw Vortex pop
We
up
need
on
to
your
play.
screen, you were getting fucking one-shotted.
All,
No,
all I
every
know
time.
is
Oh, it's over.
it's
Oh,
like
I'm
okay, time
yeah.
time to get ready for finals. Let's go to the study hall or go to the study lounge, and it's just Griffey in his side of the hall in a Halo like 48-hour Halo tournament.
Just in my boxers, maybe a shirt, just
Yeah.
fucking ripping Halo.
Guess I'm going to the library instead.
I can't forgive myself for being a toddler during those times.
No, it's
I wish
fine.
I was a
It's
part.
fine. We broke down the door to your utopia. That's fine. That's what a Spartan
Um,
does, Tristan.
it's exactly what Spartan does. Gotta clear the fucking way. Uh, yeah, but definitely, it's fantastic. And then another video game, which is nowhere near horror or like horror elements or dramatic elements. Kirby would be a fucking trip movie. And
Kirby?
I wish they would do it like today
Like
without
Balloon
me. I just want to see it.
Marshmallow from Smash
Yeah,
Brothers Kirby?
Huh.
Kirby. He's in a dream world, but like
It
the
makes
lore
sense.
is
It's gonna
insane.
happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna happen.
happen.
And you're basically fighting God in a single Kirby game, so you can get really crazy and trippy with that kind of stuff. That'd be
Okay,
fun.
I was
And
so unprepared for
the
Kirby that I have to sit on this for a
oh yeah,
while. I have to suck it
oh
into
yeah.
my fat balloon gullet and let it fucking simmer. I kind of love it. Like, you're not like of all. If it was Mario, Sonic, Kirby, Link, I think I want the Kirby movie
Yeah.
honestly too.
Here, you wanna hear my really awful pitch for like the ending scene of a Kirby movie?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kirby is in this dark void and he's fighting whatever otherworldly god that somehow grants presence. And this god is like, Kirby, you're nothing.
Yeah.
And then this god starts sending out like all these like little minions because Kirby can suck them up and take their powers. And it goes quiet. And then Kirby, voiced by Brad Pitt,
Oh,
goes,
damn. Okay.
voiced by Brad Pitt, goes, "No, I'm everything." And he starts sucking all these people.
You start sucking
Falls.
everyone off. That's cool. I'm just glad you didn't go voiced by Chris Pratt. Like, that's bad. Brad Pitt's like, get over here, I can take more of you. Ah!
He starts sucking all the
His name was
powers
Bob. Ah! Right?
of all these minions. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm everything. I'm everything. I have every power. I can do whatever I want." And then he kills God. And that's it.
Damn.
So
That's the
there's
kind of
my
thing that
courage
gets that
pitch.
elementary school demographic into the theater, the death of God.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
That's
for
the
kids.
mic drop.
Let's all remember it's for kids. That's what we have to
Yeah.
remember. So
Honestly, you got my ticket money. My kids
Oh,
watch
yeah.
all kinds of wild shit. They would be into that. I think
Perfect.
those are great answers. Definitely the most interesting answers we've had to that question in podcast history. Final question.
yes, sir.
You're a young
Yes, sir.
guy who made a feature film, right? You're now in the world. You're working on how to establish your next steps into the career of filmmaker, right?
Mhm.
What's the number one advice you would give to someone younger than you or older than you who's starting on this path, who has a story they want to tell, that wants to make a movie? What's the best advice you've learned through making your own movie that you would impart on a listener?
Very simple answer. Fight for the final cut and fight for your vision. Make sure you are telling the story that you want to tell and make sure it always makes sense to you because you're the director, you're the writer. Make sure it is your thing because at the end of the day, that project is going to be the one haunting you the most. So make sure
That's a great way to say
it
it.
had make sure it had everything in it that you wanted and the rest will follow. So
That's, you know what? This is why I love you. You are so wise beyond your years.
oh, I don't think
That
so.
is such a great fucking answer, right?
Yeah.
Because it is, if you're going to make a fucking movie, make the fucking movie you want. That's the job, right? Say what you want to say with it. I think that's a brilliant answer, man.
Yeah.
I love every time we get to cross paths. You're one of our favorite people. We are inspired by you. We appreciate you, man. Would you love to tell everyone one more time where they can find you online, where to follow your work, where to follow the depths?
You can follow me on Instagram at Reed Tristan Matthew, and then you can follow the Depths through my personal account or at the Depths movie on Instagram. I really hope that's right because I may be having a little brain fart, but we'll see.
I will check before I put that in the show notes so you guys can find it.
Cool. We're not gonna take the director's word for it on the social media platform for the movie.
Like most people
let's
who are
trust
younger than me,
Ethan
I
Griffey
assume
here.
you're full of shit and high on whippets. I will act accordingly. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for making the time, dude. We really appreciate it. Guys, go
Dude,
follow
this is a
Tristan.
dream.
Go follow The Depth so that you can find this movie when it comes out. Trust me, you will enjoy it. Heath and I have seen it. It's a wonderfully wild, messed up movie that you will appreciate. We will see you Monday for another messed up movie.